Here's the twist. The most self-aware show of the 90s told you it was self-aware. Again and again. You just weren't trained to notice. We're going to walk through 13 clues on the walls, in the wardrobe, and right to the camera. That proved the subtext was baked in. Curious why certain gags reset like a video game? Or why a single wardrobe choice keeps echoing the same idea? Stay, because the patterns aren't random. They're a language.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down.
Number 1. The Will is dead theory. What if the pilot's beatdown isn't a setup? It's an exit, and Bel-Air is the afterlife. Here's the theory. The fight in Philly ends Will's earthly run, and the show becomes a purgatory arc. Each episode acts like a trial, a new room where he's graded on loyalty, pride, truth, and care. Why does the world reset so cleanly after chaos? Running gags loop like a game level. Jazz flies out the door, then strolls back in. By season 5, reality stretches and snaps back with meta tricks that feel like dream logic. Then come the signs. Lucky breaks that arrive on cue. Chance reunions that redraw his past. And at the center, Uncle Phil. More than a judge at work. A moral bench in every scene. Handing down verdicts that shape Will's soul. Number 2. The taxi driver is God. The first gatekeeper in Will's new world hums like a prophet and vanishes like one. Run the theme in your head. Chaos, a reroute, then an outsized grinning driver who ferries him from one code of life to another. He doesn't ask for directions, he declares them. The car becomes more than a ride. It's a corridor. Why hand a random driver that much weight? Because the lyric staging puts him on a tiny throne. He senses Will's state, declares a destination, and the road obeys. That's narrative power. In myth terms, he's a threshold guide. They show up once, name the path, then step aside. The smile, the timing, the ease. Signals of a benevolent arbiter granting passage. Quick pause before we dive into the next hidden meaning. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We've got even deeper Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theories. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Number 3. The Bel-Air mansion is heaven. Why does the house feel less like a home and more like a temple with rules? Walk in and you feel protocol. Surfaces shine. Meals start on cue. A stern judge presides at the head of the table, and a precise steward keeps the rituals tight. It plays like a sanctum where order is the point and manners are the law, but it's porous. Will brings noise, slang, and improvised customs that jolt the rhythm without breaking the frame. The space bends, not shatters. Rooms carry jobs. The dining room hands out verdicts between bites. The living room turns into court, where apology, penance, and pardon rotate. The stairs matter most. Up is reset and grace. Down is consequences and repair. It's a map, like a board game, that teaches rules as you move. Number 4. The Banks family as the 7 deadly sins. If the house is heaven, why do the angels sin? Let's map the vices like a family crest. Carlton leans into pride, convinced merit and polish always win. Hillary blends greed and vanity, chasing status as if it's oxygen. Will flirts with sloth through play, ducking duty, until stakes force a pivot. Ashley's envy flickers in growth arcs as she measures herself against louder rooms. Jeffrey's dry wrath slips out in barbs that land like darts. Aunt Viv's zeal charges in as testing fire, virtue that presses back. Uncle Phil's gluttony and anger, a shield, big appetite, bigger temper, aimed outward to protect. But nobody locks to a single sin, and that mess is the point. Episodes turn traits into engines. Carlton's elitism against Will's authenticity, Hillary's consumption challenging duty, Phil's temper refocused as justice. Number 5. The deeper meaning of the full theme song. You've heard the bars, did you catch the blueprint? The full cut lays out a hero's map step by step. A home base, a spark of trouble, a guide, a crossing, a landing, then a new code to live by. That's a journey, not a jingle. Here's the twist. It encodes a stark pivot in class and race with clean signals, street noise and threat, an authority squeeze, then a chosen exile toward order. Each beat forecast arcs you later watch play out. Policing at the edge, forced displacement, chosen kin over blood, and a code switch that sets limits without erasing voice. The delivery matters. Hip-hop's direct address turns the listener into a witness, a core move that, as research notes, breaks the fourth wall and invites the audience to become active participants. Number 6. A metaphor for social mobility. The joke lands, the staircase climbs. Will's move is a punchline with an elevator button. He relocates, but he also rises. Raw charm, quick wit, and hustle meeting halls that hoard opportunity. New zip code, new ceiling, same gravity. But mobility comes with terms. Rules keep shifting. A voice can mark you as outsider before you speak a thought. Eyes track you at doors, desks, and dances. Access arrives with a clipboard and a side eye. Watch how networks judge. Clubs sort. Internships test if you fit. A recommendation opens one door. You still need the work to stay in the room. Uncle Phil can broker a meeting, but he can't speak the code for you. Will learns to switch styles without losing center. Number 7. The symbolic battle of two worlds. Street versus suite isn't a fight. It's a duet with sharp elbows. Will's freestyle ethos hits the bank's institutional polish and sparks. He trusts instinct, humor, and quick pivots. They trust rules, credentials, and process. Who's right when both roads claim safety? Each side swears it protects him. Authenticity says hold your ground. Respectability says play the room. Both worry the other path sells out something vital. Watch the clashes. He and Carlton split on a fraternity gate. Merit talk versus coded doors. He and Phil argue legal process against lived hazard, where forms and feelings don't line up. Jokes start the scene, then flip into debate that actually moves the needle. Number 8, the symbolism of style. Clothes talk. This show lets them shout. Wardrobe lays down code for class, allegiance, and mood. Will's neon and that flipped blazer read like a wink and a dare. Bright, off-axis, anti-uniform. Carlton's preppy palette signals inherited decorum. Sweaters, tidy ties, clean lines that say he belongs before he speaks. But here's the twist. Style draws heat. Will's loud gear gets read as a threat or a punchline by gatekeepers, while Carlton's look passes as compliance. Same hallway, different read. Watch the shifts. Will suits up for trials and formal tests, dialing volume down to claim credibility. Carlton dresses down when he breaks rank, trading pastels for street basics. Aunt Viv's academic chic blends authority with warmth. Hillary's luxe branding turns outfits into resume lines. Jeffrey's quiet uniform frames stoic duty. Number 9. The real-life parallels. The fiction was built from lived connections. The seed comes from a real ascent, then a bold room where a newcomer bet on himself in front of power. That launch sets a tone. Risk, mentorship, and a door opened by someone already inside. On-screen guidance mirrors the set. A commanding presence grounds scenes, the cast locks into rhythm, and the energy shifts when a core role gets recast. You feel the chemistry turn, not as gossip, but as texture the show leans into. Production habits bleed into story. A lead pounding lines like survival reads in his craft. A real-life DJ shows up as a meta-nod, then becomes a running bit partner. Even a gag, one character flung from a doorway, hardens into a formal ritual. Number 10. The secret of Jazzy Jeff's shirt. A single shirt repeats a thesis. Jazz's closet looks like static. Loud prints, clashing motifs, colors at war. Random, right? Not quite. One graphic and palette start to show up like a beacon, and every time it appears, you can feel the floor tilt. Then you know what's coming next. Here's the twist. The shirt is a reset switch. He steps in wearing that look. The energy tightens, and the house readies the bit. The door opens, the rhythm cues, and the loop completes. You start to read it the way you read a theme string or a string sound in a heist movie. Number 11. The constant fourth wall breaks. Will doesn't just look at you, he drafts you into the scene. Direct-to-camera quips, set callouts, and prop awareness escalate by Season 5 until the audience functions like a scene partner. He spots the lens, clocks a prop, or side-eyes an extra, and the moment reframes. You're not eavesdropping, you're addressed. Breaking form usually pulls you out, but here it pulls you in. That rhythm matches hip-hop's call and response, where the performer checks the crowd to charge the verse. Same move, new medium. Then the wink stack, pointing out studio lights, clowning a continuity slip, nudging a door that shouldn't open, or roasting a sudden set change. Those aren't errors. They're breadcrumbs that say decode this. Number 12, the hidden meaning of the Carlton dance. A punchline that defangs power. Carlton's dance plays goofy on first hit, but watch what it does. He launches it when the room tightens, grades, dates, or a gatekeeping glare, and the rhythm shakes the tension out. It's a ritual. He turns a rigid space elastic and takes back oxygen one bounce at a time. Authority rolls its eyes, a dean sniffs, a rival smirks. Yet the bit hijacks the clock. Laughter resets the vibe and status wobbles because the room now moves to his timing, then the merge. When Will jumps in, the gap shrinks. Prep and Street snap to the same beat, and the joke stops being at Carlton. It's by him. That's agency hiding in a gag. Number 13. The legacy is the message. The show told you how to decode it, and then its heirs did. Later, reimaginings and tributes treat the original like a manual. They lift its blend of humor, class critique, and meta address, then run it through new contexts. You see the same playbook. Jokes carry weight, family scenes carry policy, and the camera invites you to read, not just watch. Can a 90s sitcom still teach media literacy? Yes. Its fourth wall fluency echoes in modern series that pause to acknowledge form, stage debates inside punchlines, and use direct address to recruit the viewer. That literacy spreads like a cheat sheet passed down in study hall. Uncle Phil's archetype of principled black fatherhood keeps showing up in tributes. Episodes on policing still circulate during real debates because the framing is clear and teachable. Mini payoff. Legacy isn't nostalgia. It's a reading practice passed forward. If you saw the signs then, you see them everywhere now. The biggest myth? The subtext was never accidental. The show taught you its language from the pilot to the credits, using jokes, structure, and meta cues as a guide.